Okay, we are live. Hello, hello. Hello, beautiful people. And I see that three are watching, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure this out as I go along. Okay, so hello. My name is Sandy Nagel, as also known as Decorate Your Life. That is Decorate with the number 8, Your Life. And I'm in the CraftStash design team. And I'm so happy to be here. And you will also find me in the CraftWorld Experts. So under CraftWorld Experts, just look for me under Decorate Your Life, where I share video tutorials and pictures, project shares, and inspiration. So I hope that y'all can join me there. And speaking of CraftWorld, I also want to mention that I also want to mention that there is a secret code for you to get 25% off selected dies that they're tag dies and they are label dies. So you're going to have to hop on over to craftworld.com and sign up there for you to see the secret code for your 25% off. And I don't know if y'all have seen the pictures that CraftStash posted earlier, but we are going to be making a tag. Now, this isn't just any tag. So, as it happens, this week, Christina Griffiths launched her new line for all these beautiful what would you call it, sentiment card dies, from Card Making Magic. And I've been working with Christina's dies ever since I joined CraftStash, and they are absolutely stupendous. They die cut. Oh, their die cut is outstanding. So, anyways, as a lot of you know, that you get a lot of bang for your buck when it comes to CraftStash. And so, my forte lies in die cutting. I love die cutting. I especially love layering die cuts. And what I really enjoy is finding new ways of using my die cuts, okay? And that is exactly what we are going to do today. So whip out your glue, whip out your hot glue, double-sided tape, whip out your Christina Griffiths dies. And if y'all haven't ordered your new Christina Griffiths dies yet, you are going to be pleasantly surprised as to what else you can make with them. So let's see. Let me go ahead and say hello to a few people. It's weird because it's like let me look at the comments. Let's see. Where do I find the comments? Hi, Yorlis. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Lou. And let's see. We have Carol, Charles. Hello there. Benita. Hi, Benita. She's a top fan. Christina. Hi, Christina. Oh, my gosh. I'm like, I'm not worthy. Hi, Christina. I'm so excited. Look, my heart's going that you're here. Okay. And so, hi, Kim. Hi, Judith. Hi, Jenny. Let's see who else is here. Joanne and Rain and Guinevere. Ooh, I like your name. It's so fancy, Guinevere. Hi, Tracy. Susan. Hi, Susan. How are you? And Anne is joining us, and Amanda and Teresa and and Judith and Teresa. Oh gosh, I haven't seen you in a while, Teresa. I hope you're doing great. And Sandra's here, and Allison, and Mybe. Hi. Well, how are you doing all today? I'm coming to you live from Houston, Texas, and it is, hi Brian, how are you? And it is a little bit after 1 here, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just had my lunch, and I have a glass of water here to the side because I tend to get real thirsty when I talk, because you're going to find that I just yap. Hi Quadira, how are you? And so, let me go ahead and show you right now while we are talking face to face. Let me show you the items that I'm going to be using today. I may use one or more too. If I do, I will go ahead and show them to you as we go along. And I'm also going to show you exactly what I use as we go along. But the way that my video camera is positioned, I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and show you those items right here and now, and I will show them to you again later. So hi Anne. And so the card making magic dies that we are going to be working with today is the one that says a gift for you decorative word die set. This is one of the very brand new dies that Christina has come out with, and this is that item number. It is DIOB 1343, and of course you can get it at CraftStash. Another one of Christina's dies that we're going to work with is this one called With Heartfelt Thanks Decorative Word. It is a 3-piece die set. See how beautiful and intricate it is? It is a 3-piece die set, and the item number is DIOB 1342. And for those of you friends who are in the US, you can go to craftstash.us to place your orders. And of course, everybody else, craftstash.uk. And another one of Christina's dies that I'll be working with today is the Leafy Decorative Corner. This is what it looks like. And see, oh gosh, these are skeleton, oops, pointing the wrong way. These are skeleton leaves, and oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. And the item number is DIOB 1303. Vereen, I love Christina's dies as well. Hi Zoe. Now, another die that I'm also going to use in this project is from hot off the press, because I needed, I knew I wanted to work with a heart, but I wanted it to go kapow. Okay, and I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted it to represent, to be somewhere along the lines of Christina's style in her dies. And so the die that I'm using is also available at CraftStash. It is this heart die from hot off the press, and right there is that item number, and let me read it to you. Let's see, can I see that? 4014255. It is, see how beautiful it is? It is a heart die from hot off the press, and I also have another hot off the press item that I do want to use in this project, and these are available at CraftStash. These are hot off the press chipboard pieces, as you can see, very ornate. So everything that I'm showing you, you're going to be able to see that we are going to create something very ornate, very beautiful. We're going to take it step by step, and don't be intimidated by all this. I'm going to take you step by step, and you will see how easy it is to make something absolutely outstanding, absolutely beautiful. And it's going to be so easy when you have beautiful items to work with. And so the let's see, I don't have an item number to this, but I know it's available at CraftStash. Just look for it there. It is made by Hot Off the Press, and it's called Swirls Chipboard. You get 9 pieces, and this is what it looks like. And we are also going to use our CraftStash glue. Now, I do put my CraftStash glue in these tiny little thingamajigs, because I like to use the tiny little, whatchamacallit? Thingamajig, whatchamacallit, right? Good morning, Sharon. Well, it's 1 o'clock in Houston, Texas. And I'm I'm also going to be using some CraftStash double-sided tape, and I know that they have them in different widths and whatnot. And another thing that I'm going to use, another crafty item, is going to be my, sorry, it's a mess, my foam squares. These are tiny little foam squares, also available at CraftStash. And yes, we have a lot of tools today. And okay, this is not for your eyebrows. This is actually to pick up tiny little pieces that you need help with, you know, because you know me, I'm all thumbs. So this little quicker picker-upper is also available. I don't know what y'all call it. I'm calling it the quicker picker-upper. Okay, it's also available at CraftStash. And let's see, what else do we need? We're going to need some scissors, preferably some fine point scissors. And I know that CraftStash has a wide array, Kadira, a wide array of nozzle and bottle. Thank you. You know, that's one of the things, you know, about being bilingual. My first language is Spanish, okay? And you know, if it doesn't come out in English, sooner or later it'll come out in Spanish, but y'all, I'm sure a lot of you don't speak Spanish. And so we're gonna need some scissors. We're gonna need some fine point scissors, and these are the only fine point scissors that I have, and I know that CraftStash does carry a wide array of scissors. Can't live without your reverse tweezers. I know, Brian, right? Hi, Robin. How are you, hon? And another thing that I do recommend, and I'm sure that many of you are doing this already, but for those of you who are starting out, you know what? Washi tape. Wherever you get your washi tape. In YouTube, I see a ton of people doing washi tape destashes. Once I thought about destashing mine, but then I thought, you know what? With all the die cutting that I do, and when I die cut a lot of my intricate pieces, once in a while I have to do a double pass, maybe a triple pass. I don't know. It all depends on the machine that I'm using at the time and the die, right? And so what I like to do is I like to take washi tape and I just tape a couple of the edges of my die onto the cardstock, you know, especially if I'm using thick cardstock. Okay, that way in case I have to run it again, it doesn't come off place. So yeah, any washi tape will do. And so that's what I'm using. And let me think, and I'll probably be using a couple of embellishment pieces for my stash and some bling from my stash and some glue. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to plug in my glue gun. Because that's the one thing I forgot to do, and my glue gun is over there. Okay, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, right? Okay, so now that I have given you this whole big roundabout intro, and let me go ahead and get started. Let's get started. So, another thing that I wanted to give you a tip on, and excuse me, see, I said I do talk a lot. So sorry. I do want to give you a tip, and I know I have done this in my CraftWorld page, but for those of you who have not joined CraftWorld yet, you're going to find tons of tips and inspiration from expert designers and crafters around the world. Now, one of the things that I love to use, and I do believe that CraftStash does carry it as well, is watercolor paper. Now, let me tell you why I use watercolor paper. I do a ton of die cutting. I use a lot of intricate die cuts. As you can see, you know, these are beautiful, beautiful designs. And so whenever I send stuff out, I learned that the thinner the cardstock that you use, your intricate designs may fall apart, may not withstand the test of time eventually. So what you're going to see me do a lot here is use watercolor paper. Okay, remember I stated that Christina's dyes are excellent quality and they do cut through watercolor paper, especially these intricate designs. And you will see the difference when you use watercolor paper versus, yes, it is. It's awesome. Versus regular cardstock. Now, you can use the heavyweight cardstock, and please don't ask me. I don't know the different weight numbers. I just go by the feel. But I do like to use watercolor paper on intricate designs because they last longer. So that's what you're going to see me use here. And yeah, and I know that CraftStash does carry a watercolor paper pack. And so let's see, what else did I need to let you all know? Okay, so I'm going to move my camera now. There you go, Teresa. Okay, Cheryl, the watercolor paper. See, I get whatever's on sale. That's the one that I use. It's whatever's on sale. Now, in the States, I get it. I get it over here in the States, but I don't know where you are located. So, and you don't need to tell me. It is available at CraftStash, and maybe Lou or somebody from CraftStash can help us out with that one. And so, hi Mary from Ireland. Hi Isabel, ¿cómo estás, amiga? And so, yeah, let me go ahead and move. I'm going to move the camera down, okay? And so, but I will be showing you once again what I'm using as we are crafting along. And I hope that you enjoy this live video tutorial. This is actually my second live video tutorial, which is my first in Facebook and everywhere else. So be kind. So let me go ahead and move this so we can get to some crafting. Okay. And let me prep. And I'm also going to move my microphone, but I have the settings set to where you can hear me. So let me take care of this real quick. Okay. Alrighty. And now I'm going to see about, okay. Alrighty. Hi, Orlis. Oh, I'm looking at the, okay, I just need to see y'all here. Puerto Rico, la isla del encanto. I love Puerto Rico. Send me some pasteles, please. Okay. Hi from Kent. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Amanda from España. I would love to visit España. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the very first die that I'm going to use here, see, and this whole tutorial is about, finding different ways of using your well-loved dies, and because sometimes we get dies and then we put them away and we only use them in one thing, and then and you'd be surprised at the many uses that you can do with your die cuts. And so the dies that we're going to use are from Card Making Magic by Christina Griffiths, and this one is a gift for you, and this is the style number to it. And so let me just show you what you get here. You're going to get a total of 3 dies, and as you can see, this is my hand. They are quite large dies, and what I love about this new collection from Christina is that, and I do believe I have mentioned this to her before, is that she does all the work for us. So what we are going to do, once you have made your cards and everything with your dies, I am going to show you how to make a beautifully shaped tag using Christina's card making dies. And speaking of tags, I also want to let you know that if you go on over to craftworld.com and sign up there, you will be given a secret code for 25% off selected tag dies and label dies available at CraftStash. So head on over to CraftWorld after my tutorial so you can get your secret code for your 25% off, okay? So here we have our dies, and the dies that I'm going to be using from this die set is going to be the stitched outermost die. Okay, and so let me go ahead and put these back in the packaging, and let me grab a sheet. Now, this is just a sample that I'm showing you because I have already done my die cutting, and then I'm going to show you what to do with it. What you're going to do is you're going to take your die and you're going to set it right up until about there. You don't have to die cut the entire thing. You want to come down to like right about there. Just leave an edge. Okay, you're going to leave an edge, and then you are going to take your washi and just like kind of like put it on one corner, put it on the other corner like so. Alrighty, you have this much on there, and you know, trim your paper and pass it through your die cutting machine. Okay, so I've done just that. This is watercolor paper because I'm making a tag and I do want it to be a little bit on the thick side. Okay, so once you have die cut this piece, this is what it's going to look like, because remember we left the piece out, and that is just to conserve paper. You know, if you want to die cut the whole thing, you can if you want to, but you're not going to use the whole thing. So now we're going to take our crafty paper trimmer, you know, any paper trimmer that you are comfortable working with. Okay, now you see the dashed lines over here? There's a set of dashed lines, and then there's the outer edge. Okay, a set of dashed lines and the outer edge. What we are going to do now is we are going to trim these parts off on our outer edge. You are not going to touch the stitched lines, just the outer edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it here, and I'm going to have to be careful right along there, and I'm going to hold on to this, and I am going to just trim it off just like that. See? And we can say bye to that piece. We're going to do the same exact thing over here. Okay, remember, we want to see the stitch trim. We're not going to touch that. But we are going to line it up right along there and right along there, just like so. And there we go. Okay, so we got this other one, and this can be thrown out. And the last thing that we're going to do, see, here's the bottom. We're shaping our tag. This is that bottom. And remember that I said you don't need to cut the entire bottom because it's going to go away anyways. We're going to do the same thing here. We are not going to touch these stitch lines. We're going to line this up on our paper trimmer, and we are going to trim this part off along the outer edge. So let me do that here, and let me do that here. And there we go. And see how easy that was, y'all? That was so easy. When I made this last night, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So let me check the comments anyways. Let me check the comments. Okay, so alrighty. So now we have this, it looks like this. This is the outer part of our tag. So now we're going to do an inside part to our tag. And for that, and I think I forgot to show y'all the paper that I'm going to be using for this project. It is also available at CraftStash, and I'm using Papers by Hot Off the Press. Look at this beautiful, beautiful design. It is I forget the name. I think it's Blush something, Blush Garden, Blush Grove, something like that. And so we are going to use this paper for the insert to our tag. So what we're going to do with our paper is we are going to do the same exact thing that we did with this one for die cutting. We're going to do the same exact thing. You want to line up your paper. Let me do it like this. You're going to want to line up your paper just like you did with this. And, you know, you can let this piece hang out, run it through your die cutting machine. Okay? So, once your die cut is done, it's going to look like this. Same exact way as this one. Exactly the same. Okay? This one we are also going to trim, but now we're going to trim it a different way. Okay? Because we want to leave an edge on our tag, we want to show the white edge, we are going to be trimming along. See how we have that stitched? Now on the insert we are going to trim right along the stitch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that on the sides. Once again, we take our paper trimmer and we are going to line it up. Just line it up just like so and trim off that edge. Okay? See? We're going to trim off that edge. And we are going to do the same thing here. We are going to take this, and there we go, and line it up nice and easy. Hold your paper down and just trim off that edge. There we go. We have trimmed off that edge. And over here, we're going to do the same exact thing. And this time, we're going to trim right along, let me show you, those stitched edges. So, we're going to line up the stitched edges this time, like so, like so, like so. Okay. So now, you are left with this. Okay, and the only stitched edge that you're gonna see is up here and to the sides. And hang on a second, let me go ahead, and I see that my paper trimmer missed a tiny little spot right there that I am going to, okay, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to glue this, or you can use double-sided tape, and we are going to adhere this to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this down, and over here I have a little spot over here. So you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm just going to take a pen, you can take a pencil, and kind of sort of mark where I'm going to cut a little bit more. It needs a little bit more trimming, and it looks like my paper trimmer, the edge, the blade is ¿cómo se dice? The blade is kind of like going dull because it's leaving edges. So I'm going to use a different trimmer, you know, and I have like a gazillion paper trimmers. But don't we all? Because you know how each paper trimmer serves a different function? Yeah, each of my paper trimmers serves a different function. Okay, so I had to trim about that much, and now, there we go. This is what we end up with. Isn't that exciting? I love it. Let me see. Does anybody have any questions or let's see, comments or questions? Let's see. Hi, Anne. It is a lovely die. It is. So let me take a look to see what my paper trimmer has done or doesn't want to do, and I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, because my paper trimmer is trying to fray edges. So now, I guess the next thing that I'm going to do is, and I hope that y'all can hear me very well, the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to attempt to open my glue. Oh, there it goes. Open my glue bottle, and I am just going to use my CraftStash glue. And I know that you can get this in single, and I think you can get it in single, but I know that it also comes in a set. And so this is what it looks like. I'll just set it right there. And we are going to glue along the edges. Oops, a little bit too much, Sandy. Going glue happy over here. Oh, there we go. We're going to glue, 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 glue. Okay. Now, I do have a tool, my handy dandy makeup tool that one of my BFFs, Isabel, gave me because she knows how messy I am. Oh my goodness, I'm making a big mess. Okay, so we are going to, and I'm so sorry that I'm off frame, but I'm going to need to bring this a little bit closer to me and just glue this along and glue this along. There we go. We are gluing, and we have glued. And you know what I like to do too, and I'm sure that many of you do this as well, I like to take one of my thingamajiggies bone folder and just kind of like, pass it once, pass it twice to kind of like get rid of any air bubbles that may go on there. I don't know. And so isn't it looking pretty already? I love this. Look, it's so pretty. And you know what, guys? I went ahead, I didn't forget the wet wipes. So that I can wipe the glue off of here. But if you happen to be as clean of a crafter as I am, wink, wink. And you just happen to get glue on your project, CraftStash sells these glue erasers, and these work like a charm. Oh my gosh. I tell you, this has gotten me out of some tight spots, especially when you're doing design teamwork and you got to take pictures. And there's like a glob of glue. So yeah, CraftStash does sell these. And so alrighty, so this is dry, and let's go ahead and put these things to the side. Now, what do I do next? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So another item, let me show you what the next item that I'm going to work with, which is let's see, the next die. Okay, now the next die that I'm gonna work with from Card Making Magic by Christina Griffiths is this Yes Quadira glue eraser. CraftStash sells it, and it's at an excellent price. Anybody who doesn't have one of these, even if you don't think you're going to use it, trust me, you will wind up using it more often than not. Okay, so this is a must. A must. Next time, place one in your shopping cart and just get it, because I mean, it's oh my gosh, it's a saver. It is. So yes, they do work great. Hi, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, every time I see you, I'm like bitty bitty bomb bomb. So, like I was saying, card making magic. This is the name of the die with heartfelt thanks, decorative word, and the stock number is DIOB 1342. Let me show it to you once again. So, what are we going to do with this one? Let me show you what we're going to do. Now, I like to make my stuff fancy schmancy, which is why I love working with Christina's dies, because I like fancy. So, what I decided to do, when I was looking at my tag, I was like, you know what? It needs something here, like a princess crown, a tiara. And I was looking through Christina's dies, and I was like, you know what? Doesn't this look like a tiara right here? Look at that. So what I decided to do was I took, in this die set, you're going to get 3 dies. You're going to get the stitched one, the outer die, and then you're going to get the inner die that you cut the shape with. Okay, so what I've done here, and see, washi tape. What I've done here is, and let me show you how I do this. What I've done here is, I take this piece, okay, and because I know that I need an edge here, what I like to do is the edge that I know that I'm going to die cut, I put the widest edge over there. So it doesn't matter that this is like, you know, metal to metal. This doesn't matter. What I'm die cutting is this part right here. So having a little bit of a space here is what I want, okay? And that is when I use my washi tape, of course, and I run it through the machine. And of course, I use watercolor paper. And what I do is I just put it down like so, just like that, a little piece, you know, piece of scrap or something, and run it through my machine, okay? So after we run it through the machine, this is what it looks like. Remember, I said I only need a tiny little piece from there. And so what I'm looking to get is this piece right here, because, and let me put this away, because I noticed that this makes for a perfect arch for this piece. And you know what, guys? If you don't want to do the die cut like I have, but make it like a border, it looks great like this as well. Look, see how beautiful it looks? But I only want this part over here. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do. And I got to take a look at my sample that I did earlier. So now, this is when I take my fine tip scissors, and I'm going to just trim like so. Just trim, just like that. See, easy, easy. Just trim like so. And then what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to do my best to do a curve. You know, you're kind of like fussy cutting. Just like that. Try to make it as natural of a curve as you can. Right along there. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Just kind of like fussy cut it into a curve. Just like that. Okay? And let's see. This part over here, we are going to fussy cut this into a curve as well. So what I want to do here is I want to take this and just kind of like follow the natural curve and just follow that natural curve and kind of like fussy cut into a natural curve. Oops, there's a little point there. Hang on, let me see if I could take care of that without. There we go. You're going to follow that natural curve just like that. And we are going to do the same thing over here. We're going to fussy cut this into following that beautiful curve. Same thing over here. We're going to do our best to get this curved. There we go. Just like that. Okay? And this can go here. So now we go ahead and bend it back. So now what we want to do is, and I'll tell you, I love making dimensional pieces, and oh my gosh, I go through this stuff like water. So when you get you these, and get you a few, get you a few of them, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to use these squares to pop dot them, or, you know, give them, what do you call them? Make them dimensional, that's the word. Make it dimensional. Just like so. I'm going to add 2 there, and I think I want to add 1 here for good measure. And I just like to check on the back to make sure that nothing is showing. And then what I like to do too is I like to take my scissors and just kind of like cut the little squares in half as well. Let's see, these are big squares, so this can fit here, and I mean, not big squares, you know what I mean. And so this one can fit right here, like so. Let me just bring that up to y'all so y'all can see, okay? And I hope that y'all can hear me well. And so I just brought the microphone a little bit closer to me. So now I take these and I just kind of like, you know, work them around the project, so that way we have these little mounts here. And let's see, I have another one. See, and this is the part where we get our quicker picker upper. Okay, because you know I told you I'm all thumbs. So this is the part, and these are available at CraftStash. And this goes right there. Let me make sure that it's not showing. Nope, it's not showing on the outside. Good, yay. Okay, I'll put 1 there, and I think I'm going to take this one. See how nice it is to have one of these? I'm going to put this one right there. Right there. And I think I want 1 more piece. 1 more piece, please. Oh, yes. And you also get to hear Sandy's greatest hits. Okay. So this one is going to go right here because I like to sing. Now I'm happy. See, to me, crafting is a mode of self-expression. And I tell you, when I'm crafting, and I'm sure that y'all can vouch to this too, because y'all are probably the same exact way as me. When I'm crafting, I'm in my happy place, you know, and I just sing to myself. I talk to my cats. I sing out loud. I sing silly songs, you know how it is, because it's like it's an escape. It's a beautiful escape, you know, and oh my gosh, I just love to craft. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now we have our dimensionals, and let's see. What I'm going to use now is like this tool right here. It is a Spellbinders tool. It's very scientifical, as you can see. I know scientifical is not a word, but I just like to be funny that way. Okay, this highly scientifical tool to help us remove the whatchamacallit, the backs the backs to these pop dots. Okay, and so here we go. There's another one. All right, and I tell you, you know what, try not to get your fingers on this because these stick. They stick to your hands. So yeah, try not to get your fingers on them. That's why I like to use this tool, or I guess you could use that tweezers tool as well. And let me just, oh, okay. So now what I'm gonna do, and I guess I can go ahead and turn it for y'all to see. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to put this just like so. So this is what we have thus far. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? So I'm gonna pause for a moment, and I'm gonna see if anybody has any questions or anything. I don't see any comments over here. I'm trying to. Sasha! Hi, Sasha. How are you? Sasha Reed's in the house. Whoop, whoop. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Sasha. Love to see you, girlfriend. Okay, so we have this. Now, the next thing that I want to do, and this is personal preference, I want to break the, I don't want to call it monopoly. Oh my gosh, monotony. Monopoly. Listen to me. Okay, I was gonna say I don't want to call it monotony because it's not monotony, but for lack of a better word, that's what I'm gonna use. I want to kind of like break this and turn this, add a little bit of interest to that. So you can use your washi tape. You can use a different shade of paper. Like for example, you can go ahead and do two different shades like this. Like you could do a, whatchamacallit, same shade but different designs. Like let's see, same shade, different designs, or you can just go ahead and or leave it like that and do this kind of thing, you know. And it's always pretty when you do something like this, you know, and I'm just giving you ideas. Now what I'm gonna do here is I am going to use some trim is what I'm gonna do. Okay, and I should have prepared better. I thought I was prepared, but now I'm gonna have to get myself some trim. And so the trim that I want to get is maybe white. I don't know. Maybe white. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and use some trim from my stash. So this is turning into a shabby chic piece. Now, I can go ahead and use this trim, and I think I'm going to look. Doesn't it look pretty? And so let me go ahead and grab, let's see, I need to grab a drink, and I got to go grab my my hot glue gun, and I will be back. Count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Ta-da! Here I am. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. And you know what? This was plugging this in was at the top of my mind. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna forget something. I'm gonna forget something. But there we go. Okay, so while we are waiting for this, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take some of this. Now this is personal preference. You can leave it as is if you want to or not. Now, I don't know if this is available, or perhaps there's if this is available in the UK at all. I don't know. But over here we call it Wink of Stella. Okay. And basically it's just a pen that I add shimmer to. I don't know, maybe somebody from CraftStash can help me here to let y'all know what y'all what they have available in the UK, and I will show you in a moment what this does. It just adds shimmer, a real beautiful shade of shimmer to your paper, and it doesn't damage the paper. So I think it's alcohol based, I'm not sure. So let me go ahead and do that. And I'm not so worried about this because I'm going to add some bling. I know I want to add some bling there. And so now let me add a second coat. It dries fairly quickly, really. And so yeah, see, this is what it looks like with the shimmer. Can y'all tell? See there? Can you tell? It adds shimmer to your whatchamacallit piece. And so while the hot glue gun is warming up, another thing that I want to show you that I'm using from Christina's collection is, and let me bring this out, this set of dies right here. Card Making Magic by Christina Griffiths. And the set that I'm using is the Leafy Decorative Corner. It is a 10-piece die set. The item number is DIOB 1303. Let me show it to y'all. Okay. And you get all these beautiful pieces. And what I'm going to use from here, what I'm using are the skeleton leaves. I'm using these four, and all I did was I die cut these four once again using that watercolor paper. And so let me show you what, and I'm so sorry about the glare, let me show you what it looks like, what they look like. See these beautiful leaves? That you get in this die set. It's these four right here. And so what I want to do is I want to take my leaves, and I also want to apply the whatchamacallit, this to it as well. So just real quick, add some shimmer to the leaves, just like that. Same thing here, just adding shimmer, just like that. There we go. And here is another one. And so here we go, just like that. Let me move these down here so y'all can see, show you how. I don't know if the camera's probably not picking up on them, but these leaves are absolutely beautiful. I love these skeleton leaves. I think that's what you call them, right? Skeleton leaves. So here we have there and there. Absolutely magnificent. I just love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, So let me see if you can see the shimmer. It doesn't show the shimmer. It's there. Trust me. It's there. Okay, where did the top go? Here we go. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side over here. Let me bring these here because I'm fixing to, that's Texan right there. I'm fixing to use my hot glue gun, and hot glue guns along with hot glue is available at CraftStash as well. And so let me use some of this beautiful trim. Let's see. You know, sometimes it's difficult for me to tell which is the front and which is a bottom and which is a top. I think I want to make it like this. Otherwise, it can go like this. It can also go like this, but I don't know. I think I want it like this. Okay, so that is what we will do. And why am I speaking of myself as a third person? I do not know. Okay, so we are going to add some trim because it's turning out to be very shabby beautiful. Okay, and like I said, you can use a different thing of paper, different papers, you know, like the flip side. Like you can use washi tape to separate the 3/4 of the way. You don't want it right at the center. It's more interesting when you have it further down. And what I want to do here, sorry about that, I hope I'm not off frame. What I'm going to do here is just going to go like a little bit over here. I don't want to do too much because, there we go. Okay. And while I'm gluing the tag, for those of you who have come in late, I want to let you all know that CraftStash is holding a special sale. You're going to get 25% off your label dies and selected label dies and selected tag dies. In order for you to get your secret code, you're going to have to go to CraftWorld.com, sign up there, and they will give you your secret code. So, and while you're at CraftWorld, I want to let you all know that you can find me there. You will find me under Experts, Sandy Nagel, Decorate Your Life. That's me. That's me. And so, yeah. And CraftWorld, basically, it's crafters from all over the world. It is free to join, and it basically, you share ideas, you share inspiration, you share tutorials even. You know, if you do tutorials, open up a CraftWorld page and start sharing your tutorials there. And so it's all about crafting. It's a beautiful, fun crafting community. And yeah, so there we go. I feel I needed to do that one and this one as well. So yeah, I hope that y'all join me at CraftWorld and y'all follow my experts page over there. And let me just do this part here because this is a fold over. There we go. Fold over. Oh, and for the back of this, now, once you have done your trims and everything and you have glued everything to the side, and you're not going to see me do this in this tutorial, but I'll just walk you through it. What you're going to do is you're basically going to take this very same die that you used, and you're going to do the same exact thing for what you did on the insert, except that now you're going to paste it on the back. That's all there's to it. Okay? So that's what you do there. And let me just fold this over. fold this over like so. And I'm going to fold it over like so. And like so. This makes for a beautiful tag. And on something like this, you know, once your tag is done, you can always put it on top of an A4 size card. A4 is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This could be the front of your card. Like, you can use it as a gift tag, or you can use it as a tag for your mini albums. And so I believe I'm done with this. So let me just put it to the side. And now that we have this like so, I want to go ahead and do something else. See, now that the tag is formed, we are going into the layering. This is what I'm doing now. We are decorating it, we are embellishing it, we are layering, and at the same token, trying to get all these off of my hands. So now I'm gonna use the hot off the press Swirl Chipboard pieces. You get 9 pieces, and these are available at CraftStash. And look how beautiful they are. I love it. They're so beautiful. They're so pretty. They are so super pretty. See, you got me singing again. There goes Sandy's greatest hits. And I'm just going to tear this like so. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas, I tell you. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. Oh my word, look at this. Look at this beauty. It's so beautiful. Here we go, dancing. And no, not dancing. I can't dance. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely stunning. Stunning. And these are so super easy to tear off. You just, of course, you got to be careful. You don't want to just kind of like, just want to be careful. And if you like, you can also use, whatchamacallit, a little blade or something, you know. But these tear off so easily. Oh my word, look at this. How cute is that? Oh my gosh. Guys, look at this. Here, let me take this down for a little bit. Look how pretty. Okay, let's do some layering, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and get my little trusty glue. And let me see, what parts do I want to glue? This is going to go something like this. Okay, so we are going to, there we go, make a mess. And yep, I'm making a mess, but it's okay. I like getting messy. And let me go ahead and close my glue. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to use my little tool here that Liz gave me. Isabel, I should say. I don't know, Isabel, do you go by Liz or have you always gone by Isabel? Let me know in the comment section. Hi, Audrey! Oh my gosh! Audrey's in the house! Audrey's in the house! Whoop, whoop! Hello, Miss Audrey. Hello, Miss Audrey. Oh my gosh, Audrey makes the most awesome cakes. Oh! The other day I was like, send me one, please. Looky over here. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I am going to need to get me another one of these because I'm messy, messy, messy. Messy, messy, messy. Okay. So now I'm thinking that perhaps this can go here or and what I love about the different pieces is that, you know, you can decide for yourself now. I could do this one as well, but I think I don't know. Let me remove this from here to see if I like how this is looking. I gotta be careful once again. Okay, I could do this like so. Nope, 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 nope. I want to do this one. I want to do this one. Somehow this speaks to me. What do y'all think? With or without? I like it with because I'm going to add something else to it. Yep, 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 yep. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to go ahead and add this on here. And I see that it has this little, see, I am picky sometimes to a fault. Okay. And should I add this piece this way? Or should I add it this way? I think I'm going to add it this way because I don't know, I kind of like those burnt looking edges. It gives a dimension. Don't y'all think? It gives a dimension. I like that. With. Yes, everybody say with. We're going with. We're going with. We're going with the frame. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and add the frame. And I do like this side better. Yeah, I do. So we are going to add our glue. You know what? I'm going to do both. I'm going to add regular glue, and then I'm going to add this hot glue because of this part right here, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. We're going to do both, okay? Because I really do like to use the CraftStash glue. It glues very well. I like it a lot. And here we go. And I just need something to keep this down while the glue dries. So you know what I'm going to do as well? I'm also going to use my tool here that Isabel gave me because I make a mess. Messy, 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 messy. Okay, so yeah. Now, I just want to do like just a little bit, hopefully. There we go, just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit. Sandy's greatest hits once again. Alrighty, I'm going to be off frame for just a moment because I need to see what I'm doing, y'all. Okay. Okay, there we go. It's on there. So I've got the glue and I've got the hot glue on it that's supposed to hold it in place while the real glue, while the other glue is drying. So let me get this lint off and let me get, see, messy, messy, but I love it. Okay. So now we have this. Now that we have these like so, I am going to show you another item that I'm using. And this other item is from, let's see, hot off the press. It's this die right here. I showed it to you at the beginning of the show, but here it is. And that number, that 401 number, that is the CraftStash item number. So this is a beautiful, intricate heart die. As you can see, it is a sizable heart die and very intricate, a very beautifully designed from hot off the press, and you will find it at CraftStash. And let me show you what it is, and that gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Okay, so the plan is, and I'm gonna just turn this around. The plan is to layer this right on top of it. What do y'all think? I love layering pieces. And before I layer this piece onto here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some Wink of Stella. That's a famous line from a famous movie. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And so, speaking of movies, I would just like to remind y'all, those of you who have come in late, that CraftStash has a special sale. Y'all are probably thinking, what does this have to do with movies? You know what? Absolutely nothing. CraftStash is running a sale. You're going to get 25% off their selected die tags and die labels. And what you have to do to get that secret code is you're going to have to go and sign up at CraftWorld. Go to craftworld.com, and that's where you will find the secret code for your 25% off. And so, as it is, CraftStash has great prices as it is, and an additional 25% off, y'all. That is even better. Even better. I just had to squeeze a thing, and of course I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess here. This is going to be real glittery. And so it's okay. It's okay. It's got a tiara. It's fit for a princess. Fit for a princess, right? You know, oh gosh, I could just see this as a gift tag when you present a gift to somebody doing her sweet 16, quinceañera, Mother's Day. Oh my goodness, birthday. Oh my gosh. And even weddings. Yes, very special events, or even like baby, you know, a baby girl. And so, yeah. So what I'm going to do here is, let's see. It's very, very sparkly. Let me see if I can show it to y'all. See how sparkly that is? There you go. Yes. And so I was talking to y'all about CraftWorld. I am at CraftWorld, and I didn't know that it existed. But you know what? I really enjoy CraftWorld because you become part of a community of crafters from around the world, literally from around the world. And whether you're into card making, into mini albums, and over there you find it under scrapbooking, are the mini albums. Whether you're into mini albums or Copic marker coloring or 3D makes, anything, any type of crafting, you're going to see it there. There's going to be a group for you, and not just one group. There are, gosh, a gazillion groups to join. And so, yeah, and once you have joined CraftWorld, I would love for you to follow my page. I am one of the expert designers at CraftWorld, and you will find me in the experts page where you can sign up for all the experts there. There's Lou, there's Sasha, Christina, I believe. There's a lot. I know Heartfelt Creations is an expert on CraftWorld. Oh my goodness, so many people there, so many names that you already know. And yeah, go ahead and sign up there and follow my page. You will find me under Sandy Nagel, Nagel, at Decorate Your Life. I'll be right there. And okay, here's a tip, and I got this from my decorating days. Sometimes you don't want things right smack in the center. By positioning something off center and even kind of like coloring outside the lines, it's more interesting to look at than if everything was matchy-matchy, you know? So I'm going to do this a little bit off center, just like so, just like that, which is absolutely beautiful. I think, you know, and this is personal preference. Again, if you like yours, everything centered, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Me, I like to put things off center because I find them more pleasing to the eye. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And so there we go. And I do believe I have a little piece of from the whatchamacallit, the hot glue, which reminds me, I don't want to burn the house down. I had to shut it off. No, don't want my house to burn down. Okay. Okay. Oops. You know what? I think I'm going to use that again. Okay. So here we have it. Let me just put this down like so while I think of the next step, because I do want to add, oh, I don't know if this is from the trim or if this is from the, what do you call it? The hot glue. I think it's from the hot glue. Yeah, I'm very picky, very picky. I'm like, it bothers me, you know? And so I'm sure I'm not the only one. So, yeah, now that we have that, let's go ahead and embellish it a little bit more. And you know what? I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take a poll here. I'm going to ask you, what shall I do? Because I'm on the fence. Okay, I'm on the fence on one because I always make a mess. I'm messy. Now, I have a choice here. I could add this sentiment, which says thankful. I could add this sentiment, which is part of this chipboard collection, or I could add something that pops. I could add this die cut piece that says, especially for you. Sorry about the glare. Here. Excuse me, maybe you'll see it better that way. Especially for you, to break the monotony. Once again, for lack of a better word, especially for you, or the thanks would have to go down here. What do y'all think? Sentiment. Yeah, which sentiment should I use? Should I use this one, or should I use the gold one? Yeah, they're both great. Christina says the gold sentiment. Okay, Christina, I'm going to go with Christina, what Christina said. Now, before I put the sentiment down, let me show you what I'm using. Now, this sentiment is this one right here, and I do have several of these. Here, let me take it out of the bag because of the glare. These sentiments I got from CraftStash. The sentiments are creative expressions. They are available at CraftStash, and I have done my shopping around, ladies and gentlemen, and I could tell you that CraftStash has the best prices on sentiment dies from creative expressions. And let me show you what they carry. The one that I'm using is especially for you. Now, I don't know the item numbers, but I'm just showing you what I have from CraftStash. It's especially for you. We have there's only one like you, just for you. So glad we're friends. And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And wishing you well. So the sentiment from CraftStash that I'm using by Creative Expressions is this one right here, especially for you. And excuse me, I die cut it beforehand, as you can see. And what I used is mirror gold cardstock. Okay? As you can see, it's very intricate mirror gold cardstock. And so I'm thinking about adding, let me see, let me take a look. Ooh, I think I'm going to put it right smack in here. Since I already have the heart going, it's off-centered and kind of like facing in a different direction, kind of sort of. I think this would make a great balance by adding the sentiment. Ooh, you can see it better there, right at the center. What do y'all think? Oh, sorry, Teresa. Yeah, watch it on replay. Watch it on replay. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add some of my CraftStash glue. And just very sparingly, see, this is why I get these tiny little tips, because I tell you, I'm all thumbs and I need it. So here we go. This lady once told me that I do a lot of fussy gluing. I thought that was a cute terminology. And you know what? She's right. I do a lot of fussy gluing. But I don't mind. I've gotten used to it. Seriously, I really have gotten used to it. And so, now, I'm going to keep this on hand because I make a mess. I'm trying not to. Okay, now, sorry if I'm off frame, but I'm going to need to see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put this right there. There, right there. And let me turn it this way so y'all can see better. And I'm just lightly tapping this onto here. Just a light tap. There we go. Just like that. Oh, I love it! Looky, looky! I love it! I love it! So, the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add my leaves. Leaves. And once again, these leaves are from this Card Making Magic by Christina Griffiths die set. So here we go. I am so sorry about the glare. Here's the name of the die set. And what we are going to do, see, here's where we are just playing around. I love flourishes, okay? I love lots and lots of flourishes. And, you know, this is turning out into a real shabby chic, shabby beautiful, shabby chic creation. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add flourishes at the bottom. I like that. At the bottom of the tag right along here. And I think, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I die cut one of each. And right now I'm using these two right here. One of them is going to go facing down. One of them is going to go facing down like that. And the other one is going to go facing up like that. Okay. And basically what I'm going to do is when I glue these things down, because I like the dimension and everything, I don't apply glue to the entire thing. I pretty much go a third of the way down. Okay, just a little bit, a third of the way down, not too much. Like so. And I allow for this to just dangle. Just like so. And here's another trick that I like to do that I've been doing lately is and this is personal preference, sometimes you want to, and here, let me do it on here. Sometimes you want to take the leaves, and it depends on the cut too. And this is just something that you want to experiment. You know, it's personal preference what you want to do. You want to take the leaf and kind of like fold it over like this. You don't have to do every single one of them. You know, just sporadically. Just like so. Because I think that by doing so, because you're making a dimensional project, and it adds even more dimension to it, and it makes it more interesting to look at, more beautiful, and so forth. And so, yeah, just kind of like, and if you are not if you're not comfortable doing it like that on your project, do it outside of your project. Experiment a little bit, do one with, one without, and see if you like it, you know. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can always die cut another piece and leave it as is, right? So there we go. Just a little bit. You don't have to fold them too much. See, you don't have to fold them too much. Just a little bit to make it more interesting. See, I want to show you what the sides look like. So this way it's not like flat. And we're only gonna glue like the bottom part, like I said, the third part, and that's it. And just let the other move freely. And there we go. There we go. Okay. So what you can do here is you can do a flower, you can do a flat back pearl, you can do a you know, whatever it is that you would like to do there. Me, I want to apply a piece of bling either here or here. I love adding bling pieces, especially on something that's this shabby, this princessy tiara type of thing. So I think I'm going to do a rhinestone piece here, and over here possibly a flower. So let me turn my hot glue gun on again, and I am going to get my bling. Nope, this is not it. Sorry. Okay. This is bling from my stash. It's going to go right there. So, and see, and another thing, in your project, when you do a piece like this, these I could have easily popped out because these pop out, but I didn't want to do that because I knew ahead of time that I needed a solid background to glue this on there. Okay, so that is something that you may want to think about as you're die cutting your pieces, you're die cutting the topper, and yeah, you got to think about that. Are you going to be adding a piece on top of it? Then you might want to just keep it solid. And of course it stays solid because of the glue on the other side from the square foam dots, the square dots. No, how could they be dots and square? I mean the square foams. Y'all know what I mean. And so this is gonna go right here, right there. I love it. And of course I do have to give it a few moments to dry. It's gonna go right there, there. Okay, so which means that over here I should add a flower, or I could add a butterfly. Ooh, I like butterflies. Do y'all like butterflies? I love butterflies. Butterflies are free to fly, fly away. Well, this is not a butterfly. what? I've been saving this forever. This is my friend Yorlis, and I believe she's in the chat. She gifted this to me. Like, has it been 2 years ago already? She gifted a bunch of these to me, and see, Yorli, I'm using them. So yeah, it just takes me a while to use the stuff people send me. So yeah, I am going to use that, and I also want to use a flower. I'm gonna use some flowers from my stash, and I'm looking at pastels. So, but it has to be a certain size of pastels, and so it has to be a certain shade. And I'm looking through my stash to see, that's what you're hearing, I'm looking through my stash to see which, perhaps this one. I don't like that one. No, not on that project. And what happened to I had a bunch of pastel flowers. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. I'm going to have to go with one of these then. One of these. Although, okay, that's the size I'm looking for. Wrong shade, right size. Story of my life. But it's okay. It's okay. So I have some pastel flowers here that I'm going to use, because I think this one is a little bit muy tosco, a little bit too big for that, because everything here is very dainty like. And so this, even though this is peach, I'm going to offset that color with, let me see, with the pastels pink that we see here. So here's some flowers from my stash that I'm gonna use. Let me just kind of like put some here. I just kind of like have to set them just to see how I want to do this. And what I'm doing here is, when I cut these, see how you have this little tuquito, I don't know what that little stem. What I do is I like to smoosh it. See that? I like to smoosh it so it's nice and flat. So what I'm gonna do here is like that, and I'm gonna take one of these tiny little buds, and when it comes to the flower buds, I like to leave the little stem there to kind of like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's another tip, and this is again from my decorating days, back from my decorating days. That was Alexa. That means something arrived. I got a package. I got a package. It's crafty too. Okay, and so what I like to do is I like to add, when possible, I like to add odd numbers instead of even numbers. And like I said, this I learned from my decorating days. For some reason, it's more pleasing to the eye when you're looking at something that something is off-centered and it has odd numbers. I don't know the science behind it, but that's what I've been taught, and it works, guys. So this is what it's going to look like. Let me go ahead and hot glue these things together. Now, before I do that, I think I want to add, because I also want to add these over here, because I do want to make it dimensional, very dimensional. So these are also going to go in like so. I see that, and just kind of like, not twist them, kind of like fold them, just gently fold them. It doesn't have to be that much, you know, because you know how sometimes leaves are folded, yeah, that's a word. I gotta check my English sometimes. And so here we go. And here's one. And I just gotta push it in there. Push it in there. Okay, that one is in. And now let me do this one. So I'm gonna put this one here. And I'm gonna put this one to the side. This one is right here on the side. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one down. And so I'm going to apply a little dab of glue right along there. And this one's going to go in like so. Just like that. And I do believe I'm going to, let me see, I want it here. Yeah, I think I want it there. Sure, why not? So another little bit of glue here, and this one's gonna go there, just like that. And of course, I gotta take out all this telaraña. Okay, what is that word? What did she just say? Translation, please. Spider webs. That's what I just called it in Spanish. That's what we call it in Spanish. The spider webs, or the webs. And I have this little guy over here. Where should he go? She should go right there, I think. Facing this way. Hang on a second. Let me just take a look at this for a moment to see. And y'all, later when we are done with the tutorial, and I hope that you've been enjoying this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and take pictures, and I'm going to email them to Lou so that way she can post the pictures. I don't know if she wants to do it on CraftWorld, CraftStash, or this page, but yeah, let me get rid of the little spider webs, and there we go. Okay, this is glued in there. And you know what, I think it needs a little bit of thing right there. Hang on just a second. It's not finished. It's not finished until the artisan says it's finished. And it's not finished. It's almost finished. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. It's not finished. Okay, here's some flat back pearls. Now, these are some flat back pearls from my stash, but I do know that CraftStash does carry a wide array of flat back pearls on their website. So when you go visit CraftStash, make sure you let them know that Sandy sent you and that you watched my live. And I hope I haven't put you to sleep. There we go. Now it's finished. Okay, so tell me what y'all think. We made this beautiful shabby chic shape tag from the new Christina Griffiths dies, her sentiment dies that she launched this week. Christina, are you still there? Tell me what you think. Oh, thank you, Yorlis. Yeah, more is never enough. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Christina. Christina, I'm not worthy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Robin. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Susan. Oh my gosh. Look, thank you all so much for coming out here and supporting me and supporting CraftStash, supporting CraftWorld. Thank you so much, Sandra. And oh my gosh, I see so many American faces that I know. Thank you, Debbie. And yeah, go ahead and join me at CraftWorld. Let them know that Sandy sent you. Thank you, Audrey. I hope I can see you at CraftWorld, Audrey, and Debbie and Sandra, and hi, Marta. And so, yeah, thank you so very much for coming out here, and thank you, Judy, and sharing your valuable time with me, because I know in the UK it's, oh my gosh, it's let's see, it's 2:40 Texas time, so I think that I have taken plenty of your time already. Thank you so much, Joan, and I hope that this was an enjoyable experience for you, as it has been such a pleasurable experience for me too. Thank you, Isabel. Gracias a todo el mundo. And I hope to see you once again very soon. Bye. Remember, CraftWorld, 25% off coupon. Get it there. Go now. Now. Bye. Go. CraftWorld.com. And join me there. Bye-bye. Thank you, Deborah. Bye.